Do you know, it's interesting. I've never actually had something big and black in my face so close before. So, first time for everything, isn't it?
Oh, you're lucky that Ant's not here right now.
I could have had something big and black in my face.
So I've got to do
I was
this really
gonna say
annoying
no.
thing every time that I record. So it's how I calibrate it. So I go, and that's how
Are
I.
you going to ask me to do that as well?
No, for some reason all the guests seem to just follow me with it. And I was
Oh, I'm not interested in. I'm a wolf, not a sheep.
exactly. Exactly. Right. So we're live. Believe it or not.
Hello. Thanks for having me. Pleasure.
All I was doing was adjusting your mic. But...
Oh. Well, thanks for having me.
Right,
Pleasure.
so welcome back to We Don't Care. Obviously, Ant's still in the mines over in Ghana. He's actually building houses. I'm not sure if you've seen the story.
Actually, I heard that immigration came and took him away, and it's a bit of a touchy subject, but Zach keeps trying to justify why he's not in the country.
Yeah,
but I hope he's all right, and, a big love to him and his family.
He's just doing good over there for the people.
Yeah.
But we've got this tall, handsome, dressed in blue, balding man to my right.
Balding. It's
Uh,
optional.
So we've got the one and only Sam Brown. So...
God, where's the crowd to give a round
I know.
of applause? That was so anticlimactic. Damn. Thought I was more favoured than that. Go on.
Anyway, so as everyone will see, I've got a piece of paper today. I'm prepared. So I thought I'd just throw in a little icebreaker, just in case you started to feel a little bit nervous
What's that?
in front of the camera, because this is going on my spicy page.
Oh,
afterwards.
okay, that's good. So where do you want me to start? Are you putting your legs on my chest, or am I putting your...
I want you to put my knees behind my ears.
Are you flexible?
No,
Or are you
not in the
just
slightest.
versatile?
I'm not in the slightest, but
So it's a bit of a pain training too. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
sore knees, sore hips, sore asshole.
something like that. And
Yeah.
I'm very tight.
What were like on your hip flexors or?
Something's gonna be sore. Right, let's fucking get. So, I know you're not on social media. Sam's a bit of a ghost, everyone.
Retired, don't exist anymore, and I think, to be honest, it's the best way to be. No one knows who I am, and it's good. Made a lot of changes in my life over the past couple of years as well. So
Well, we'll get
Yeah.
onto that shortly. We're gonna follow the repertoire.
repertoire.
The mise en place, as the chefs would call it.
I sort of hate a little bit the fact that like like when you'd ask me to do this, I hate the fact that you like know a reasonable amount of information about me as well. And I think like knowing that you've come prepared, I'm sort of I don't know. Yeah, it's gonna be.
Don't worry about it, mate. Don't worry about it.
Could be wholesome. It could be really unwholesome, and you could really do me over publicly.
Hey, listen.
It's all on me, though, isn't
I'm
it?
yeah, exactly.
It's about what I do and say.
I'm a friend at the end of the day. Now, 100 men versus one gorilla. Who would win? The gorilla or the men?
100 men versus one gorilla.
Yeah, I've got.
What sort of men are they? Because like, if you're talking like dwarfs, then I feel as though that it's going to be a bit of an issue because there's only so much. Have they got weapons?
Bare fists. I've
Bare-fisted
got some
men.
gorilla. Bare-fisted.
Men that are bare fisting each other, and
Just
then they're fisting each other, and then the gorillas like trying to attack them, and then
Yeah.
it's like then the gorillas like, wait, I don't want to fight you because of that, because of that gay shit that's going on. If you're gay, if you whatever you are, that's amazing. I'm happy for you.
So you've just got us cancelled in the first 3 minutes and 52 seconds.
Right, okay. No, I'm all for like whatever you want to do. Like, if you identify as Zach or that's cool.
Anyway, so the gorilla like info that I pulled off the internet.
I think 100 men.
100 men.
Yeah.
George said that as well. I was arguing against him with my facts, but
Right.
just a bit of gorilla trivia for you. An adult gorilla is 4 to 9 times stronger than the average human.
Wow. Yeah, but I'm not an average human, so where would I compare to that? Are they like
Well,
2 to 4 times stronger, or
possibly.
what can he leg press?
Well, a silverback gorilla can lift up to 815 kilos of dead weight.
In what sense? What's he doing? Shoulder pressing it, or like is he squatting it, or like what's his deadlift be doing?
It just says lift and dead later on, so I'm assuming it's a deadlift.
Deadlift, yeah.
Yeah.
Lifting dead, so it must be a deadlift. So gorillas can deadlift 800. Yeah, no, I don't know. It depends, like, what if someone's like,
Getting dead.
what if someone's like, you've got some black belt in fucking
Guerrilla warfare.
BJJ, and he's just like fucking, like snapping his fucking Achilles and
Well,
doing shit, like getting shit done. What if they're all trained? Like you've not put enough context to it.
well, that's what I mean. This is what the
If it's just
discussion
like
is for.
100 men, like say you've gone down to like a paedophile convention and you've just taken 100 men from there, they're obviously going to get beaten up by a gorilla.
Yeah, absolutely. But this is the discussion, man. So, like, my view is, let's just say for 100 average blokes.
100 average. What do you find as average though? Like someone like, I'm trying to think who, it might be like a mutual person that we know who goes. Someone who like sits in the pub at the weekend.
Yeah. So let's say someone that's like probably 85 kilos in weight. If we go deadlift, let's say 120 kilos. I don't.
Oddly specific.
Well, no. This is just stuff. Bench press 60 kilos.
What?
I'm just thinking about
yeah.
average strength.
I feel like they might get abused by a gorilla, like physically and emotionally.
Well, it depends how they emotionally.
Yeah.
Fucking
Distress.
dickhead. Gorilla
Like,
thing. But a gorilla has got a bite force of 1,300 psi.
Wow, that's more than that's like double a lion, isn't it?
It is more than a lion.
No, like double.
Yeah.
Because I know, bloody Nora, what are they called?
Bloody Nora.
Yeah, because I was thinking like the Turkish Kangal dogs, who have the biggest bite force of all dogs. I think the second's like Cane Corso. I think the PSI of them. Oh no, it's about 700 or 800. Yeah, so that's a lion. So it's
Well, there you go.
Interesting.
You've thrown some lion and
Information.
Cane Corso trivia at me.
yeah.
But are you just going for a gorilla? Is that your answer?
I don't know. I don't know. Like, I think it'd be interesting to watch.
Yeah.
I don't know what sort of haircuts have they got. Are they Korean? Like because they've got like 5 haircuts.
I know.
Because like if they've got long hair, like what if that affects the vision as they're getting already like pepped up to get gorilla, bring out that warfare shit.
Well, you don't want to obstruct your vision, do you?
No, you don't, and I think people neglect that sometimes. Like when you see people that've got that wispy, like I used to when I was younger. Oh.
I'll put a picture up
Like,
here, guys.
it's like some of your lad got Tourette's, got a twitch.
Just in your eyes. I still have to do that, mate.
Do you?
It's,
Heavy.
it's,
You should cut your hair.
I've not got the hairline for it.
Yeah, well, mine wasn't really receding, and then my barber keeps making it recede. Like every time he gets a cut throat and just sort of like nicks it back a little bit, and I'm like, I'm sure you're trying to do that on purpose. I'm sure because I know you guys have been for hair transplants. Does that mean that I have to be part of your crew as well? Like, am I, you know what I mean? Am I like one of the boys now? So like, got that receding shit going on.
It might be like some sort of, what's the word I'm looking
Cult.
for? Like, cult or joint enterprise where they just start fucking up guys'
Enterprise
hairline.
in the rental company.
Start fucking you up. So you're like, yeah, I know this guy back in Turkey, back home. Go and see him. But yeah.
Yes, get onto my guy. You'll only take one of your kidneys.
While you're
but he'll
under.
half you on the profit of it, so you get about 40 grand, so it's all right.
So essentially, you're getting a free hair transplant.
You're getting free treatment, and you look better for it. So yeah, why not?
So before you came on, I put a story up for people to ask questions anonymously.
Great.
Obviously,
Okay.
I know who the people are, but I'm not gonna
Yeah,
name and shame them.
I don't have to try and guess who it. Oh, sugar. I
Well-
don't have to try and guess who it is, do I?
No, you don't have to.
Right.
So first question:
Okay.
how important is leverage?
Cal Wilson. Very.
In what context?
So leverage, basically, like we've been doing a lot of work in his garden, and it's been quite fun actually. To be fair, and whoever the previous owner of the household, he had got like a big like RSJ. If anyone doesn't know, like a big steel beam that's usually used for supporting in construction. And sort of like quartered it and used that as posts in the ground and put railway sleepers in. So we were trying to leverage, like because we could only move like literally minute amounts, like every time that we were moving these sleepers up, and they kept dropping down if we like didn't hit it right. But it was fun, and I just kept shouting leverage, like every time that it started working. So
when
leverage is important. Your fucking leverage is important in life. You want to have the upper hand at all times. times. You want to have
Fucking
good
tell 'em.
leverage. No, but seriously, fucking leverage your job, leverage your wife or husband or whatever partner's going on. Do you know what I mean? Leverage your gay couples, leverage your lesbian couples, leverage everyone in between. Life will be great.
Exactly, mate.
Just pure leverage.
See,
Just don't be a nasty person. No manipulation, just leverage.
so obviously,
It's
I had no
different.
context behind that question,
What?
and
This is the next one.
no, that's how important is leverage.
All right.
So I was like, is he talking about like when you're in the sack? Like maybe if you're not dealing with much, you've got to work with your leverage.
Yeah, well, it's interesting that you say that because so a bloke who used to own Wildflower Deli in Chorley, Richard, he was saying to me one time, he said, it's not about the size of the nail, it's the fucking 90-kilo hammer that you're hitting it with.
Well, he's got a point, I suppose. Next question.
Yeah.
How big is your hog?
My hog?
Your hog, yeah. You don't have to answer it. I'm just.
How big is my hog?
Yeah.
I don't even know what sort of question that is. That's no. I don't know if that's a joke that I've missed out on. If that's like one that's, I don't know. How big is my hog?
How big is the
Is
hog?
this like a reference to prior work or like?
They're talking about your dick, Sam.
Oh right. do you know what? Ever since I've become a man of faith, a Christian man, I'm just naive to all this life. It just sexual innuendos and jokes are just disgusting and it's outrageous, and I'd never make a joke like that. How big is it? Do I have to publicly say?
No,
how big
you
my
don't have
dick
to
is?
say it. No,
Oh,
that's
right.
fine. But
I
that
don't
leads
mind.
your answer. What do you weigh?
What do I weigh?
Yeah, that's
what
not-
are you thinking about?
That's not a question. I'm just thinking about the.
Oh, I'm floating between 100 and 103 kilos at the minute.
It don't matter about the size of the nail. It matters about the 103 kilo man that's hammering it in. There you go. So,
Yeah.
leading on to my next question.
And the angles that he's hitting, and like.
Well, it's not even.
counts.
The
It's all
tempo.
about the angle of the dangle. If you've not heard that before, get to know.
It's like it adds depth as well when the legs are on your shoulders.
But
Doesn't matter.
adds depth.
Yeah,
My dick instantly grows if
yeah,
the legs are on my shoulders.
exactly.
Yeah.
This next one isn't even a question. It's just more of
Okay.
a. It's more. Of,
Statement.
it's. I think it's more of a demand.
Or is it an observation?
Yeah, it's show us your arse tattoo.
Oh, who said that?
Well, I didn't know you had an arse tattoo.
I do have an ass tattoo. I do have a particular hairy bottom though. What's going to be a good angle for the camera to see my ass?
Maybe like
Who's asked that?
it's completely anonymous. I can't tell you.
Oh, do you actually not know?
I know who it is, but
Who is it? Who's asked to see my ass? Who is it?
who was
is it
there?
Someone?
Who was there?
Lewis.
No.
Oh, Tom.
Yeah.
Tom Holt. Do you know? So there's what is it? There's me, Tom Holt, Lewis Henry, and a guy called Neil. Right, we've never seen Neil since. I don't know if anyone's got any contact with him, but like he's sort of. I don't know if we adopted him or he adopted us or what. But like little Neil from Darlow, class guy, absolutely class guy. Went on a night out with him, a mad night out, and he disappeared for ages, and he come back, and it was like someone had spiked him, but like bad, and he was losing his head, he was losing his mind. The next day he comes back, and I don't know if he's like recovered from whatever has happened. We didn't see him for the rest of the night, to clarify. Come back to our hotel, and we see him the next day, and he's like, they're after me. I'm like, who's after you? Like, what's going on? And he's like, they're gonna come and get me. Like, they tried getting me last night, and we're like, Who tried getting you? Like, what do you mean people tried getting you? So he was on the night out. It had gone to like early hours of the morning. He for whatever reason, he thought these people were after him. We don't know if this is true or like if he's upset someone, because he were a bit of a scrapper. Like, he were that semi-pro or a pro boxer, and I think like he got into a bit of a tete-a-tete, per se. And he ended up fucking running to the airport from Magaluf Strip, ran to the airport, but then got denied a flight, and then I can't remember if he ran or got a taxi back, but like he was adamant that like they were after him, and we would like everyone was just fucking distressed. We were like, I was 17, I think they were like 18, and we were like, it was sending me on paras, and I wasn't asked at first, and then all of a sudden I'm like, they're after him. Oh, the people, I don't know who they are, but they're gonna get him. Does that mean they're gonna get us as well?
I think the fact, if he was adamant about it as well, he was...
Oh, mate, he was so convincing as well. Like, I don't know what level of PTSD he's got from that, but that must be so distressing. But it's the fact that he ran to the airport. Just took off running and ran to the airport from a night out. Just like, whatever. Like, must have been like 2, 3 in the morning. Obviously, like, over there, it was like hot and fucking probably like...
As a boxer as well, he must have insane cardio just to get there.
I don't know, I'm going to ask him.
I don't know where he is.
Oh, ask someone with insane cardio that's a boxer. A lot of them do. The cardiovascular in boxers is very admirable. Yeah, I can't run like 100 meters these days, but
no, heavy guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've gone from a mad dynamic to like a very quiet. So next question. Would you rather find 1,000 cockroaches,
okay,
or a grown man in your attic?
I think I'd rather have a grown man in my attic, to be honest with you, as opposed to 1,000 cockroaches, because that's quite intense. Like, I don't know if I'd want to like try and stamp on them all myself, or if I'd just want to like call someone in and be like, "Who's the cockroach guy? Do we have a cockroach guy around here? Is that even a thing around here?"
I don't think we have cockroaches in the UK.
That, what is it? Is it Brett's Pets or something, surely? Is that the one that's across from Pearson's?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you go in there and they've probably got shed loads of cockroaches and shit. They sell all sorts of stuff in there.
Probably make a bit of money on them as well.
Go and buy a lizard, and then I'll come back and put it in my attic in it and clear them all out. That's boring. What's that guy doing there? What's his story? Does he need some breakfast?
Yeah.
Does he need something to eat? When did he last drink? Do you know what I mean?
All valid points.
How big's his hog? Do you know what I mean? You can't leave a man out.
Has he got an arse tattoo?
Has he got an arse tattoo? Am I still on me showing that? Or
if you want to show it to the world.
I don't know if you might have to stand behind the camera and just check it's got my ass in a good view. Like, but, I mean, it's a bit hairy, guys. Is that a good view?
That's absolutely perfect.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
I've got a bit of a burnt back at the minute as well.
I'm just gonna give it a little bit of zoom in.
Yeah. Do you want me to go on?
Say all right.
Says all right, but with 3 L's, yeah. So that's funny because there's actually the story behind that was because we'd met this guy, Little Neil, and a couple of lads. Fuck, I can't remember their names. They were all dead sound lads from like Sheffield and I think they're from Sheffield, and Little Neil was from Darlington. And basically we got dead close with them, and they kept walking around the hotel going, "All right, right," but at first, like, they just kept doing it, and it just sort of stuck, and it had a good ring to it, and like a few of us started doing it. Next minute, like, the staff in the hotel associated us with them, and every time they seen us, they were like, "All right." And, like, obviously they're Spanish as fuck, didn't know barely any English. Like, the guy who was serving me drinks behind the bar in the daytime couldn't speak a word of English, but he could say "all right." So that was it. That was like, we need a tattoo as memorance, and that was it.
That was the catchphrase of the holiday.
Yeah, it was "all right."
All right.
Just had a ring to it. Yeah.
So I'm going to use this as a way to move back through the years. So you said you was like 17 then.
Okay, yeah.
So let's go back a little bit further.
Further back?
So I'm going to go high school days.
Okay, yeah.
Now,
what happened in high school that I need to try and remember?
Well, it was actually in the Lancashire Evening News. Or Lancashire Post. Either way, it was...
Dad.
What?
What? To do me? Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
So, listen, don't worry about it. Parklands High School actually made newspaper headlines. Yeah. And you was falsely accused of something. But I'd like you to give us the rundown of what actually happened.
So, like, obviously, there was that whole escapade, let's call it, of the whole, like, Green Street reenactment. And I was really gutted because I was a prefect, you know. Like, I'm a prefect, you know, like that kid that, like...
Were you proud?
I was far too chilled to be like... If a kid asked Nat to come up to me and, like, "Can I come inside?" I'm like, "Yeah, just don't say that I let you in." But if you come in and start trying to push past me and be an arsehole, like, get out. You know,
I know what you mean.
It's nice to be nice. Just ask.
Use a respectful prefect.
Yeah, just like, I'm not gonna diss some kids. Like, they're just kids. I'd have probably I wouldn't have been a dickhead, but just be nice. Be a nice catcher anyway. But yeah, I was on prefect duty that day, And funnily enough, not to grasp myself in, but I didn't really turn up. I'd just go and see who I was supposed to be on with and be like, oh, do you mind if I just go and get some dinner? And then I wouldn't come back. I was busy, you know.
Yeah,
I had stuff to do. I had shit to do. I needed to get some dinner, and then like obviously on the way got chatting to people, and you know I can be a talkative guy at times, and you know it's tough. Like when you're making that 5-minute journey, and then it's not. It's
you're still like that now, to be fair.
Yeah, bro, I know it's bad. Like I try and go anywhere and just end up in a mad conversation with like random people. I made friends with a 50-year-old woman the other day. Hi, Karen, if you're listening. No, she's lovely, genuinely. I was getting a coffee, and we just started chatting, and then next minute we sat at a table and just chatting, and then we went for a walk, and yeah, no, she's really nice. Yeah, just like mates. I'm not trying to hit. She's nice though.
Go on, I like it. So. Yeah. Just walking back from that tangent there.
So yeah, sorry, I go off on a so obviously that Green Street reenactment, but I can't actually fully. I think it ended up just being like a mass brawl. But the funny thing is that I don't know if because I sometimes confuse that with the time that some of the lads in our year were like making year 7s fight each other, right? And they're like, I'm not naming names. It was comical. I mean, I don't condone violence in any manner, but yeah, it was comical. Just the fact that kids would be like sort of bet against each other. I feel as though there should have been like a bit of a gambling ring going on there, and you know, like,
you could have made some money on that.
Oh, you know, like in Thailand when they're at the side going around like, who you betting on?
Red
who you
blue?
bet on? Red or blue? And you're like, I don't know, whoever you're betting on, because I know you're in the know. Tip for Thailand, trust.
Well, we'll get onto that shortly. So there was a Green Street reenactment. You were on prefect duty.
Yeah, I was busy that day.
Yeah, you was busy doing prefect stuff, and then
get my lunch.
I remember seeing a picture of this. I tried to find it online earlier on, but it's been wiped from everywhere.
What's that?
It was just the picture of like everyone.
The headline.
Yeah, it was a picture of everyone on the field and stuff. I don't know what was actually went on, but was anyone actually injured or?
Quite possibly, yeah. I don't know. It's like a lot. I remember all sorts of silly things used to happen in that high school. It's like Johnny Murphy. He broke his collarbone because of everyone doing like a big pile-on. God, they terrified me then. Like, logically, why am I going to let loads of people jump on top of me and compress me? It just doesn't. And you never know when it's going to end either. And kids just found it funny. I didn't really find that very funny.
It's quite traumatizing, really.
Yeah, I was like at the edge of one once, and like my head was just sort of like crooked, but I could just feel more and more weight, and I'm like, yeah, what? This is hurting a bit.
It's peak British culture, that, isn't it?
Yeah, like bulldogs.
Yeah,
bulldogs.
Got banned in my school. That.
Really?
Yeah, people were getting injured.
Yeah, I think it was probably banned in most schools. I remember it being banned in Balshalane. You know, big up. Balshalane Primary School.
But, right, so moving on.
Yeah.
In life, obviously. So, for those who don't know Sam, he comes from a historic line of, what's the best way to put this? Well-renowned butchers in the area.
Historic line of well-renowned butchers. Interesting.
Have I ever said that well?
I'd have just said it comes from like a family butcher's.
Well,
it comes from a family butcher's. Yeah, I was actually born and raised inside of the building. Yeah, mum breached while I was, you know, like falling out of her on the counter.
Yeah,
tough times. I still get a sweat on thinking about it.
I heard you came out the womb linking your umbilical cord.
That's interesting because my mum had a C-section. I was cut out, so
right.
I cut my way out. I just cut, just straight out of my stomach. I just like reached around like out of her, just trying to find some sort of knife, and then snuck it back in and was like, like burst out.
Come out with an apron on,
like
gloves.
Yeah, just ready,
ready to serve your purpose in the bloodline.
Yeah.
So what are you? Are you like 3rd generation butcher? Fifth generation.
Yeah,
fuck me.
I'd be set to be the fifth generation owner. Yeah. Yeah, crazy. I remember because Dad, a few years back, if you search Tim Brown, love you, Dad. Tim Brown, Guinness World Record. Dad had a Guinness World Record for the most sausages linked in a minute.
Fucking big shout out for Tim there. Look at that Guinness World Record.
Yeah. It's been beaten twice now though, and factually, I'm actually faster than him. But you know, I can't take that pride moment away.
Yeah.
But yeah, he actually had a Guinness World Record. I can't remember what year it was. I'll have to try and find it because I know he's got the book. You got to remember shit like that when when you do things like that.
When you're in the book.
Yeah, I ain't got no Guinness World Record. Have you got a Guinness World Record? I mean, it's
very valid point.
It's a very interesting achievement out of anything.
Yeah, so, he's a master of his profession.
Yeah, I mean, he does more production stuff, Dad. My uncle does a lot of the butchering, and obviously Granddad in moving on into his next life. He was said to be a master butcher.
A master butcher.
He had like when you see people like with chains of honor, and it's got like loads of like loads of things on it. I think we've still got it. He's got like he used to wear it every time because oh my god. So they used to have butchers' nights. I can't remember what it was called specifically. So it's gone now. Doesn't exist anymore, unfortunately. But I went to one when I was 18. So it was like the Grandad got asked to be years ago, like head of the Butchers Association, and basically, if you were that said person, you would travel around the country just like most nights or like every week, attending like meals and just giving updates on what's going on in the butchering like community, like nationally. So like to do with like say like Scottish Federation, and the likes of like said people, and deal with like wholesalers, individual butchers, just anyone who's in the game. But my nan apparently used to hate my granddad going because they'd have comedians on. There were occasions where they had strippers. There'd be loads of alcohol and like
it was probably like players' night then.
Yeah, so like anyone who was going could provide meat for the occasion, so it was always good quality meat. So like everyone's eating banging food, having like a comedian on, like strippers, like it just was.
They're
like
all getting bladdered.
It was just a lads kind of occasion. But it's died out now. And when I went, there was just a comedian. I'll admit, I'm not going to try and make it sound like something that it wasn't. The occasion that I went, yeah, he was a bit of a knobhead though, because I was the youngest person in the room, so I was 18. And I was wearing this like oversized suit because I didn't have any suit that fit me. Like prom suit was an option. I wasn't going out buying a suit for a night. Like I was 18. I was more interested in like going out drinking, but than spending money on a suit.
Let's have that pointing at your face a little bit.
Sorry, I've just pressed a button. Does it matter?
Just speak loudly into it.
Hello.
No, it's fine. We're picking you up.
Yeah, so this comedian anyway, he ends up like because he said he was trying to make a joke about people that are single. So he said, "Is anyone in the room single?" And me just being like innocent little kid was like, "I am." And then he just started trying to rip me. But one of my dad's mates came and with us and didn't like it, so I ended up fucking like he was so quick-witted with things that he was coming out with, and just was like, honestly, he literally said about 3 comments to the comedian. Comedian was like, right, no heckling, and like pretty much ended his act after that, and come up to us afterwards, apologized to me, and then said, please don't do that again if you're ever in a room with me. I don't deal well with heckling. And he was like, well, why are you a comedian then, you fucking muppet? Fuck off. So yeah, got backed from day one,
No, so
let's stop doing that. I don't do that often.
It's all right.
Peace and love, man.
All right.
All right.
So obviously being in the butchering environment from a young age, you got any like any fond memories, or do you feel like you learned any lessons in that aspect?
I learned a lot. So I've got a little cut on my wrist, and one of the lessons that I can tell you is, when someone who is, this counts for like any profession, someone who's more established in that profession tells you, do not do such a thing, there's probably a reason for it. So my uncle always said, like, when you're boning stuff out, do not have your hand, wrist, like, other hand, like, on show in any of the area when you're boning something out, especially if you're coming towards yourself.
What do you mean by boning something out?
So, like, say, like, we had the occasion that I stabbed myself in the wrist. We had this like rib of beef, so like on your beef ribs where you've got one end sirloin and then it flows through to ribeye, and on the inside then you've got your fillet. You take your fillet out and then you go down the individual rib bones. So like as you're coming down, you can slip off
Yeah.
You know, like, because, well, there's moisture in it.
Yeah. And you're human and you're just a robot doing the same thing.
Yeah, and every time you like coming down, like the actual piece of meat can move. You're just on a wooden block. Like anything can happen. There's all sorts of variations. Like you might actually like just, I don't know, lose balance and sort of slip back, whatever. Anyway, so I used to always pop my arm behind my back, like so. And that's said to be obviously the safest way to not injure yourself. Christmas time, it was busy, like everyone was getting tired, like me including. We were working stupid hours this particular year. It was like a COVID year. And we had more orders. I think we had like double our typical amount of orders, and it was just stupid. And anyway, so like I'm boning this thing out, like laughing, joking away, like, and then all of a sudden I slipped, and it just went, brand new knife, thank fuck, and it just went straight into my wrist, and I kid you not, it must have gone in like about 3/4 of the way into my wrist. Like the woman at the hospital was like playing with it, she was stretching it, and she was like, "Oh my god, oh that's such a clean cut," and I'm like. Like what the fuck?
In it, well, it
yeah,
like,
she's like, oh, you're about a millimeter off your major artery. You'd have bled out. And there's no one here that could have helped you, right? And she's like, I'll just glue it up now anyway. And like, I'm just thinking,
you'd have bled out.
You just told me that I could have died, and now you're like casually being like, oh, let's glue it up and forget about it. I'm like, what the fuck? That's like you see like a piece of something broken and you're like, yeah, just slap some duct tape on it, hold it together for a bit, yeah, you'd be right. Yeah, great.
You could have bled out, fine.
Could have died, didn't matter. Do one.
Did it hurt, or was it just like the shock at the time? You was like, oh my god.
It didn't hurt in the slightest, but the funny thing is like I just was like, and everyone was like, I didn't understand that my major artery was there, like thankfully, otherwise I might have like panicked and like my blood pressure might have raised and I might have like, but they were like, grip it, like fuck. So I'm gripping. Honestly, I've got a reasonably strong grip, and I was like gripping the life out of it, and like blood would just pour in either side of my hands, like through my fingers where I was holding it, and I'm thinking like, what's going on here? That's unusual. Maybe it's just because I've gone a bit deep. So my uncle's like, go upstairs and get your dad. Tell your dad quick. So I'm like, I run upstairs, and everyone looks at me and like, you all right, love? And I was like, I've done a boo-boo. That was the only thing that I said. I've done a boo-boo. Like, and I didn't really speak much, like, as the whole thing was going on, because I was just, I guess, in shock a little bit and just, like, confused as why everyone was panicking. And I was just so, like, ugh.
So innocent in the situation.
Just, bear in mind, this was only, like, a few years ago. What was it? I must have been, like, 22, 23 or something. I'm 26 now. But, yeah, mad.
Man. So, I'm just going to check the camera, make sure we're still live.
Yeah, no worries, bro. You got to do what you got to do. God, you look good from the back.
Thank you. We are still live.
Okay, cool. How far are we in?
We are
a few inches.
Well, depends what angle I'm at. It's 32 minutes in at the minute.
All right, cool.
And we've still got quite a few points to run through.
All right.
So, from that, obviously, you said it was quite a few years ago. It was about 22. So, was this in your peak Thai boxing stage?
No.
Or were you just out of that?
Yeah, I think I probably peaked, 20, maybe 21, somewhere around there. It's really funny, like, you're the reason why I started going, sort of, because I'd contemplated it for a while, and I remember when we were in college, in first year of college, we got chatting about it.
Yeah. And
you said that you're going to look for somewhere, and I was like, oh yeah, great, well, like, when you find somewhere, let me know and I'll come. And I remember, I think I started, what was I, like 18 or 19 or something when I started?
Yeah, it will
I
be
think I was
18.
19, I think I was 19, but you'd been going for about 8 or 9 months, I remember.
Yeah.
Because you'd been at Glenn's original place, and then he got that little place in Chorley.
Yeah.
God, I loved the original people. Like, I loved
Glenn
everyone
Scott.
that I've ever trained with, but sorry.
I said shout out Glenn Scott.
Yeah, what a sick guy. Yeah. No, I've got love for like anyone that I've ever met from Muay Thai, like the training, just everyone's so sound. And I think the interesting thing is like everyone seems to leave their ego at the door, and you've got to acknowledge sometimes like you never know who you're coming up against. Like,
absolutely.
And it resonates so much on the street, because it's like the amount of times that people, I don't really get trouble.
I'm not surprised. You're fucking like 6'5", built like a brick shit house.
6'2.5". For the ladies out there, half an inch makes a difference, and you know that. Yeah, half an inch crew. But yeah, just like everyone that I've ever met from doing it is just sound. And I remember like that original like little room was hilarious. But yeah, you're the reason. Yeah, you're the reason why I ended up getting involved. And I remember you used to beat me up at first.
I know. And then I'll put some clips up. I went through my oh, my belly's rumbling to fuck there. I was going through my
Mackies.
I know.
Today's sponsored by McDonald's. Minecraft only in cinemas.
I actually want to watch that, you know.
Right, cancel.
No Minecraft, no Jack Black, none of that. Anyway,
cancel culture activated.
So, yeah, I was going through my camera roll, trying to find like some clips and videos and stuff like from over the years to promo tonight, and I found a video where it was at Pro Body Matters.
Yeah, OG days.
This was peak. Well, we're gonna get onto peak champion Sam days.
Oh really?
And I was stood there in ring and I just couldn't get close. Bro, you was throwing knees from so far away. Mate, they were straight down the middle. You was kneeing me from like here to you away and they were landing and I couldn't even jab past them. Like you've got like
the length is phenomenal. Yeah.
In the knees anyway.
Yeah. I'm lacking in other areas, but it's all about angles, honestly. Yeah. Like I used to call my dick the clitoris. No, it wasn't the clitoris. It was the clit tickler. Sorry. It was the clit tickler. I've not said it for ages, so it was when I used to be like pissed or wired. I don't do drugs. But I'd go up to birds and be like, yeah, I call it the clit tickler. And they'd be like, why? And I'm like, because that's all it can do. With enthusiasm. But the interesting thing is not to like dob myself in, you know, like this is years ago. I ain't like that now. But it sparked a curiosity. And I'm not trying to give people tips, but it definitely sparks a curiosity where they feel as though they need to actually see whether it is just a clit tickler. And then when they realise it's not just a clit tickler, but it does tickle your clit a bit, then yeah, gets you far.
Exactly.
Yeah.
114.
Even when you are like a little bit chubby with a mop head.
Yeah, you. I'll tell you what, I'm bigging you up here. Over the past, I want to say 3-4 years, you've had a major glow up. I think it was
You're hitting on me.
Yeah, a little bit.
Mean.
It's once you got that.
Turn that camera off.
I'm gonna put on the mood lights.
Red room. Yeah, you've heard of Mr. Grey. Now you've got Mr. Brown.
To make these red. There we go.
Yeah, that's hot.
Yeah, we went on another tangent there, but so for the viewers that don't know, Sam actually won a belt in Muay Thai. He was taking chins off. He actually knocked the guy out twice.
Yeah, in 30 seconds. I tried to find the video. It's finished twice in 30 seconds. That's something that I would have done at 18 as well, but now I like longevity.
So, obviously, leading up to that, you was an absolute fucking monster. You was piecing me up. You was piecing fucking Scott. I remember you had those resistance bands for your thighs.
Oh my God, yeah, they were nuts. I tell you what, like I could kick with power with them on, and it was like 60 pounds resistance. For those who don't understand, like need it converting, obviously, 1 kilo is 2.2 pounds. So it's probably like 28 kilos of resistance, which doesn't sound like too much, but like when it's straining your thighs and you've got to keep your thighs apart and then you're trying to kick at the same time, it's fucking hard. But Jesus, I tell you what, they work like hell, because when I'd be like, right, let me do like 20-30 kicks with them on, and I'd practice, and then someone was like, oh yeah, now try it without. And I'm thinking, nah, I'm only just doing a bit of resistance training, I don't need to like test it afterwards. But Jesus Christ, when I let them fly afterwards, it was like I'd just like doubled my speed, or so it felt anyway. But yeah, it was intense, like the speed and power just from a bit of resistance. But it's like anything, isn't it? Like say I was a weedy little guy and I like pushed someone compared to, you know, like 55 kilo dumbbell chest press. Do you know, like the difference in momentum and power is going to be ridiculous.
Yeah, so, well, to be fair, even now, whenever you kick the pads, your fucking kicks are so fast.
Do you reckon?
Mate, for someone that's
lost it a bit.
Well, for someone that's lost it a bit, that doesn't do any sort of combat sports or anything anymore, whenever I've held the pads for you and you throw a fucking kick, mate, I don't know if it's your weight adding onto it, but fuck me.
Zach just called me fat. Say
Viewers,
it again.
I
fucking dare you.
Fat fuck.
I'll start spitting bars. I don't
Go
fight anymore. I'm retired.
I'm not a battle rapper anymore. But yeah, so obviously when you was like in your fighting era,
Yeah.
like I remember you come to the gym one day and you'd literally just eaten a Chinese and you had a tub of fucking chow mein or whatever it was you were eating there. And I literally just got in the ring. Bro, you hadn't even warmed up. You was like, yeah, Zach, I'll spar you. Bro, the food was like, it was in your mouth and you got in the ring with me. Mate, you was piecing me up. It was just like, wow. The way your body was moving, considering you're eating a chicken chow mein, was insane.
Yeah, I used to take the piss going in there. Like, I got to a point because I knew that, like, with the training that I was doing, like, I'd finish, like, so I was working 6 days a week.
Yeah.
I'd finish work, I'd do a 4-mile run, get that done in like 25 minutes, and then that's 6.5k for anyone who doesn't know. Boom.
You're like the metrics king, you.
Yeah. But then as soon as I finished my run, I'd go to the gym, I'd bang in like an hour of weights, and then I'd go straight to do Muay Thai afterwards, and it'd obviously be like Thai and then sometimes sparring afterwards. So that's like, like a few hours of training in a row, and I never appreciated how fit I was, but Christ, I was fit. Like, my recovery time was ridiculous, because I remember when we used to do rounds and we'd do like 5 3-minute rounds, like pads or sparring or whatever. I used to go all the way through the rounds, and then because there was a bit more pressure on me, like being like top boy and that, I used to carry on. Like, while everyone was resting, I'd carry on, and it was just like continuous.
Mate, honestly, you
never got a break.
You're a well-oiled machine back then.
I was well oiled, yeah. Now I'm a bit rusty. I've got sore joints.
Bit rusty, bigger engine though. Better body kit now.
Yeah, my hog's still the same size though. Arguably looks like it's shrunk because I've got bigger.
It's all proportions though, isn't it?
Yeah.
So obviously, with your fight where you won the belt and everything, how did you feel going into the ring?
What, now or on that moment?
On
how do I feel getting in someone's ring now? I feel great.
Yeah.
not even bite that pillow and going in dry. No, respectfully.
Yeah, no, I'll tell you what, give us a rundown of, like, obviously it was
how I felt.
Was it your first fight?
Yeah, which was crazy. So I obviously it was at Solihull, what do they call it? Like, it's like a big centre.
Sports centre, sports complex.
No, not even. I think it was exhibition centre, Solihull Exhibition Centre, and there was all sorts going on. There was like Thai, K1, like different variations of grappling, like wrestling and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. They just had loads of like mats and rings set up, and like there was so much going on. It was so sick as an experience, just being there and watching like all these guys.
Room full of killers.
Yeah, literally. And there was like Team Norway that had come as well. So I was meant to have 2 fights on the day, and this was mad. So anyway, like, I had them cis gels. I remember just like supping a couple of them, just like watching the fight before, and I watched someone like get slapped about, and I was like, that could be me, like sucking these gels. So like, I get in, and they'd said something about head guards, and I was like, I ain't wearing no head guard, like, and fucking chucked it. Like, maybe a bit arrogant perhaps, but anyway, so the other guy didn't, and then like literally 6 seconds in, wham, bam, banged him with a right, and he like dropped, got back up, ref like let it carry on a bit. I caught him with a sick knee, and I really got him good with a right roundhouse kick, and he just like dropped down after that, and he was backing off, hit the ropes, and I landed. I went to teep him with my front foot, and I literally felt my toes scrape across his nose, and I was like, because I wanted to break his nose with my fucking like the ball point of my foot, teeping him.
That would have been a brilliant finisher, though.
Yeah. And then I just landed. I remember like stepping down. You know what it's like off teep, like you step forward and bam, just big right. And he literally just watched his nose like burst, and he just flopped, like literally folding in on himself.
Yeah,
So,
I remember watching the
crazy
video that you sent me, and literally after you've dropped him, then he's on the floor for a second, then he gets up and he's trying to carry on. The ref's already finished it, and he's like, "No, I'm not done."
Even his corner's like jumping in, like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, am I carrying on? And I was like, I do not mind carrying this on.
Should have just gone and done him again.
Yeah, I know, yeah. Start sparking everyone out. But two of the guys from two of the guys from Team Norway were watching. I was supposed to be fighting this Norwegian guy like straight at, like, or like a couple of fights afterwards. and the coach came over and was like, no, he's not fighting him. Like, my fighters have just watched him fight. I'm saving him for something else. Like, he's not fighting him.
Yeah.
Like, after I just like obviously slapped this guy. Do you need to be conscious of time?
Well, good eye. I'll tell you what, we've barely even like scratched the surface of this. We've been going for a good while.
Do you need to pause it or anything? Or
No,
we'll carry on recording.
Guys, if this cuts off randomly, you know we've been having a great chat. If it doesn't, well, you're in for a treat because we've got a few more points to go through. Unless
Cool.
Sam needs to go.
No, I'm good for time, thank you. I reserved this evening, you know, a special occasion. So yeah.
We're still good there.
Still good.
We're fucking laughing, so.
Cool. Well, I hope it continues. It's yeah.
We're filming blind right now. But yeah, could you imagine fucking being the next guy up to fight you after watching you just destroy someone?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
That's a soul breaker, that.
Yeah, I remember the paramedics rushing over, and I was just sort of stood there like
with the mop
the
as
guy.
well.
Yeah, the guy. No, it was a bit shorter at the time, but the guy who like was coaching for the team, like I went over and like I give the whole like
Yeah.
sorry cap.
Did you do the
gave him a hug and stuff, and he was like, "Great fight, mate, well done."
After you've destroyed his
30
day.
seconds.
Did you do the I can't remember, is it
Ramoy.
Ramoy, yeah, did you do that?
Nah, I skipped it.
Yeah, too cool for that.
Sorry, guys. Anyone who might be
He's a
offended by
fraud,
that.
everyone.
I am a fraud.
He's not even got a
I
picture of
thought
the king.
about it, but yeah, he's not. I've checked in his house. There's no king there.
Fake
People
Thai
still
boxer.
do that, and people still do that. You go in some Thai restaurants, and if you don't see the king, then they're not real Thais.
Yeah, not
they should
authentic
still
enough.
worship him in his suit.
So, have you got any advice for anyone wanting to start like combat sports or?
I think one of the biggest things is like so many people have approached me over the years, especially like because I kept it quiet for quite a while, and the people who knew me well like knew about it, and I didn't really want anyone else knowing about it because I didn't want to potentially draw the wrong attention to myself and just like end up being that like dickhead who ended up having to scrap people just to make a point of like I can fight. I don't condone fighting. I just think it's ridiculous unless it's in a controlled environment. Like, I get, you know, like you can get wound up about things and whatever, but I don't know. I think it's great as a release of any kind of emotion, whether that's like, you know, any negative emotion like upset, anger, you know, like obviously the list goes on, but I'm not going to be like specific, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, the best thing that you can do is either try and go down with a friend, or alternatively just like suck it up and just go down somewhere. But the thing is whatever you experience you have in one gym, do not take that as gospel. It's like going anywhere. It's like, say if you went to Frankie and Benny's, if it's not shut down yet, it should be shut down. Sorry if you like it, but it's not good. But if you went there and was expecting like a phenomenal meal, and you didn't get it, you're not going to go back there. But don't like let it put you off going and trying somewhere else. Like, fucking go to Manchester and go to Australasia and enjoy that beautiful like Asian cuisine. You know, like, do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
just because you don't enjoy it somewhere else doesn't mean that you're not going to enjoy it. You might not gel with your instructor. You might not gel with people that are in the class. You might get arrogant, egotistical wankers.
9 times out of 10, you'll not get that because I feel like every gym you go to, if someone is proficient in like a combat sport or something,
Yeah.
normally 9 times out of 10 they're sound, but then you get the
Yeah.
one person that thinks they're fucking.
Well, that sort of leads me on to say there was a guy who used to come down to Craig's when we had Pro Body Matters to train at. There was a guy who used to come down, and he wasn't particularly good. He was like he just looked like someone's dad, but he was dead aggressive with people, and people were getting a bit upset with him.
Yeah.
And I remember one time, like, he'd been kept away from me for ages, and Scott and Craig had, like, I watched them have a conversation, and they were like, right, go with Sam. And I'm thinking, oh, great, like, this dickhead's going to try and pepper me now. And because he was, like, he was all right, but he wasn't, like, great. So, like, because he was all right, like, I was sort of, like, giving him a bit of leeway and, like, letting him come at me, letting him, like, land a couple of shots. I'd, like, let him land one, like, then block the rest, like, let him land one, like, and it sort of went on for a bit. But then I noticed, like, I kept, like, I do this to people. I bait them out by leaving my front leg out. And I used to have this really, really quick move where, like, what I'd do is I'd bait my front leg, like, tap it, as you might see in Thai fights. But then I'd, like, pause and sort of slow it down. So it opens them up to wanting to give you a roundhouse on that front lead leg. So as soon as they did it, I'd whip my leg back. As soon as I seen their leg go, my leg went. and then I'd bring it straight back and either do them in the abdomen or in the head.
You know what's brilliant about that? I've got a screen recording of a clip
of me doing that.
Of you doing that to me.
Yeah. I was so quick with it as well.
Mate, you were evil with it. That's what it was.
Yeah, it's just because I was good at it, but I just bait people all the time. But I remember doing it to this guy, and then I just thought, no, I'll let him roundhouse kick me so that he feels good that he's landed a kick on someone that's seen as like better than him. Not to sound arrogant, but
yeah, just to boost, make him feel a bit more confident.
Yeah, because I want to encourage people to come back. I just think like stick at it, you know, like, because if you just do something here and there, like you don't dedicate yourself, then what's the point in doing it? But I get it. People are busy. People live their lives. I understand now that now more than anything, because my life just is just all over the place. I'm always in different places doing different shit. But yeah, this guy, he put everything into roundhouse in my front leg, and I just looked at him and I was like, are you taking the piss? Bear in mind, I was like 20 kilos lighter, like, but I was a little fucking machine, I can't lie. And I just looked at this guy and I was like, thinking, do that again and it's game on, mate.
So you've whipped it back. He's missed the...
No, like, I let him roundhouse me, and I thought, like, then he's getting it. Then he got it whipped back, and, like, he got it multiple times. I was like, you ain't kicking me again. And then he actually caught me with one. Fair. He caught me with one, and I didn't expect it. And I respect that. If you get me and I didn't expect it, I love that. But he put even more power in, and I just thought, like, you've got a death wish, mate. But like, because he was like just a guy and not like someone who was training at like a high level, I didn't want to take the piss, and I could see that like Scott and Craig, our trainers at the time, were watching, and I just thought, I can't stop peppering this guy. Like,
yeah.
So I was just.
But you still want to impress him at the same time.
I started taking the mick, so I just started like peppering him from all angles, going dead light. I wasn't trying to hurt him. I was just making a point of like, don't be a dick, because I can come at you quicker than what you are going to come at me, and that every time you think you've got an opportunity, I'm jumping to the side of you and cutting a different angle and coming at you from a different way and getting you with things. Didn't understand it. Roundhouse kicked me like well hard again, and I just thought, you fucking little knobhead. So I started putting a bit in on him.
So you started lighting him up.
Yeah, like proper. I was going quicker and not hard, but harder.
Yeah.
And then he didn't actually come back after that session. But I wasn't even a knobhead. But then I spoke to Scott and Craig afterwards, and they were like, God, we put him with you so that you'd knock the fuck out of him. And I was like, well, you could have said something, because I'd have pasted him, like, because he were annoying. He were upsetting people. It wasn't like me, like, he weren't offending me. It was just like, I was annoyed that he was upsetting people.
Yeah,
a few people stopped coming.
People off,
yeah, but a few people stopped coming because of him as well. So it's like, you're ruining my community.
You went for all tribal.
Some Muay Thai.
Anyway, so got a few good stories there. Conscious of time, I'm gonna skip the whole bodybuilding segment that I've put together because
there's not really much interesting about that anyway. I just train for strength mostly.
Yeah, you're just a big cunt, aren't you? Really?
Yeah, just eat loads and train hard. That's the best advice I can give you. If you want to be lean, then track your in and out.
The only advice I can give the viewers or listeners, however you're taking this in today, is if Sam's on a push day, don't be in the gym with him, because he'll ask you to pick up the 55 kilo dumbbells and pass them to him. Now, for anyone that's lifted up a 55 kilo dumbbell that can't lift a 55 kilo dumbbell, it's a fucking ball ache.
I'll pass it to you. You've just got to hold it without breaking your back.
Yeah, you got to hold it there like a heavy baby.
Cradle it, yeah.
And then
like a dog, like a small weighty dog, like a fat little beagle or something, like a 55
stick
kilo
your arm
beagle.
out like that. Look how long Sam's arms are. You've got to lift this 55 kilo dumbbell and put it in his arms.
Yeah, but I drop down a bit because I'm coming down anyway.
But Sam, you've got to shrug
hold it up to the height that you need it at.
Either way, he's a strong guy. Avoid him on push days.
Cheers.
Also got quite a good squat as well at the minute, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm on 160 at the minute. Steadily climbing. I'm aiming for 200, but a few people have said don't because it'll bug your knees up. But
still got them though, haven't you?
Yeah, I've got knees. Yeah.
And if one goes, you got a spare.
Yeah, that's true. So I'll just have to take both out so that I have no knees. You can get replacements these days, so it doesn't really matter. Knees, no knees. I don't really get on them much apart from at work. But oh wait,
I know. I thought we had an agreement after this.
I didn't say what I do for work.
Yeah, fuck it. So leading on to the next thing. So obviously you've been orchestrating fights at high school between year 7s. You've been butchering yourself and meat.
Yeah.
Taking chins off in Muay Thai and making people not come back for the greater good of the team. Leading on to the big pat on the back there, Sam.
Big pat on the back.
Leading on to the next thing, which is quite a big part in your life at the minute, is your sobriety.
Yeah, so obviously, February 2 years ago. So I'm like 2 years and 2 months in now. And yeah, so what do you want to know? Like,
how are you finding it? Why did you choose to go sober?
So, I feel great.
In fact, before we do that, I'm just going to check the thing. And we are still live.
Cool. So for me, it was the right decision at the time. I had been, I like to say, like, involved in the wrong crowd, but arguably I was the wrong crowd, which is interesting. So me and a friend, a companion, got caught up in trying to make some extra money in life, and basically it influenced my daily habits, and I was recreationally using drugs day in day out for like a good couple of years straight, not just like little quantities either, because obviously tolerance grows and then whatnot. But I got to a point where me, Cam Sully and Max Parker went to Krakow, and this was the holiday that turned me sober. And Cam, I know I shouldn't really name names.
Yeah, you've already thrown full names in there. You can skip this part out if you want. So the holiday that turned
so
you
anyway,
sober.
Some stuff fell in someone's ass and fell through the airport and fell into a different country. I don't know how it happened, and I definitely had no involvement in providing it. But every day we were like, it was 3 days. It was a 3-day bender, but I'd been going hard for like a couple of years already. And then, I came back and I was coughing up blood, and I just thought, do you know what? The detriment to my health isn't worth what I'm doing. It's just not worth it in the slightest. So, like, literally the day that I got back, I just went cold turkey. No drink, no drugs, nothing, just sober Sam. And I feel good. Like, it's hard at first. It's really hard, and I guess for me it was obviously because I'd been in a routine of having some
alcohol
blockers in my life for a long time, and my emotions needed re-regulating. But now I feel amazing. Yeah, like every day I wake up fresh. I feel grateful for life. Like, yeah, it's just, I feel as though apart from stabbing myself in the wrist, like that's probably another occasion where, like, I've spoken to people, and some people that have heard about the lifestyle that I was living was like, you definitely shouldn't be here. Just the excess of things that I were doing, just like, you should not be here.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful. Whatever's watching out for me, like, big up.
It'll be all right.
Yeah. So it's just the right thing to do. I think there's been a few people that have seen me, know me well, that have acknowledged how easy it actually is, just from seeing the person that I was, the person that I am now, how easy I transitioned from it. And it's just knowing, like, people get so scared of like what's going to happen to my life because, like, all they do is drink. They're like, what do? I don't know what I like. Go and find shit that you like. Go and pick up new hobbies. Go and pick up new sports. I'd go to the driving range. Apparently, I do golf now. Like, I don't mind it. I'm not particularly good, but I'm practicing. Like, I go out, see a lot of friends. Like, I go on walks a lot. Like, I still go into the social environments that I used to. Just obviously I'll have a pint of Coke instead, or like some water. Like, it's not that big of a deal. You're
still doing the same thing, you're just not getting fucked up while you're doing it.
Absolutely, yeah. And obviously the bonus is when you drive there and then you decide when you want to leave, and obviously when people stop making sense, and start becoming assholes, then you just fucking leave and get a good night's sleep, and then they still feel shit during the night and they feel shit the next day, and you feel great.
All the best things happen when everyone's level-headed.
Yeah, especially because the thing is like, I'm fully accountable for everything that I do and say now, and I have to be like, or I am my authentic self 100% of the time, and nothing compares to that, really, you know, like on a genuine level. It's yeah, so if I'm a cunt, I'm a cunt, but if I'm not, then, you know, it's just me being like my nice self. Like, I'd encourage people to try it, or try it temporarily and see how you feel, but I'm not interested in trying to preach and force someone to live a lifestyle that they don't want to do. If you want to get fucked up, go and get fucked up.
Well said.
Don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs. So, obviously, you've got your sobriety, and so last Sunday, you actually scheduled a text message to send to me.
Yeah, it's coming this Sunday.
Yeah. So
Sunday at 10 a.m.
Sunday at 10 a.m.
Yep.
Sam's absolutely loving the new update on iOS.
Mm-hmm.
So
phenomenal.
You've started going to church, haven't you?
Yeah, so big up.
Go
on. No, I'll let you speak first.
With this, with obviously starting going to church and things, have you had any like previous like thought of religion or thought of going to church in your life?
So no, I've always sort of like sworn atheist, which is really interesting for the transition that I've sort of made over the past like 6 or 7 weeks, where I've been consistently going to church and attending different events that they've had on, and going to things like a night called Connect, which is hosted at people's households. People from church host people, like they'll have snacks and we'll chat and have a laugh and get to know each other.
Just like a get together with other,
and then they do a little bit of Bible study as well. But it's not like Bible study, it's like an open conversation and talking about interpretation and how we view it and what it means to us and etc. So like the first time that I went, this is funny, the first time that I went, we were reading out of John, and they basically were talking about in the Bible it talks about Jesus' first miracle, which was turning water into wine at a wedding. So at the wedding they'd ran out of wine, and Jesus' mum went up to him and was like, right, it's time for you to do it. And he's like, oh, you know, like, why do you bother me now, woman? Like quite dismissive, but woman back then, it was just like a generic. It's like you saying like actually just using a girl's name, or just being like, you know, mate. Excuse me, mate, pal, whatever. So it's not like derogatory or he's speaking to her off or anything. But anyway, so it comes to it that she tells the servants to do whatever he asks, and then the servants get told by Jesus to go and fill up these huge containers. There's half a dozen of them, and they all contain like 80 to 120 litres of water. So they were like for collecting water for, well, I think it was just for water's use, just like drinking water or like whatever, you know, like collected clean water. And anyway, you know, like whatever, clicks his fingers, whatever happens, he turns the water into wine, and it's like this big miracle. And I was like, in my head, I'm thinking, bullshit. Like, what the fuck? Like, quick maths. I'm like, how have you just made? What have you just done? Click your finger and fucking like 1,000 bottles of wine have just appeared.
Impossible.
Like,
where's the logistics?
Yeah, literally. Like, who have you contacted? Tesco's like a month in advance. What are they your stockists? So I was just very like, but I'm open-minded at the same time. I go into anything like very open-minded, little to no expectations, and it's a great way to live your life. If anyone takes anything from like whatever I've said tonight, live your life with little to no expectations, and everything is a blessing after that. Which sounds a bit churchy, but Cal Wilson taught me that. And
big up Cal Wilson.
Yeah, big up Cal Wilson. Yeah, leverage.
We'll have to get you on again, and we'll get Cal Wilson on as well.
Yeah, that'd be funny. He's such a good guy. Yeah, so anyway, I was sort of like bullshit. But great, this guy, Johannes, a German guy, he was there on this Connect night. And anyway, he turned around and he was like, don't believe it. This guy's been going to church like his whole life. And he's like, nah, I don't believe it. And I'm like, this guy is my guy. You know, he just said what I really wanted to say, but I didn't want to disrespect anyone because I didn't know what sort of vibe it was.
Yeah. Nah, I don't believe it.
And he's like, yeah, nah, I don't believe it. I'm like, great. Thank you so much for saying that. So it became an open discussion. We then came to the conclusion, because obviously everything's open to interpretation, we came to the conclusion that actually it's not about this whole miracle of him turning like, you know, making 1,000 bottles of wine appear. But the concept is that wine was representative of joy, and the concept is that like whenever Jesus is there, like there is abundance of joy.
So
and
I've
when you
never
put it
thought of
like that,
yeah.
when you put it like that, it just gives it a whole different interpretation, like different meaning, like, and there's so much more depth to it, and that really resonated with me more. And from there onwards, like, I wanted to continue. And that was like on the first week, so I went on the Sunday and the Connect was on the Tuesday, and then from there, I went and I enjoyed it, and I've stuck at it since, and nice. I feel good for it. Like, I feel like it's a good detox. The one that I go to, I think it's classed as like New Methodist.
Yeah.
George has been.
Yeah.
George used to go, like, and he said it's decent. He said he wouldn't go again, but like, you know, I think people that have experienced church at a young age are maybe less inclined to, unless they've stuck at it.
I think it was like forced upon him when he was younger, right. So.
But yeah, it's really fun. Like,
I am still listening.
Like Valley Church, they've got like a band. So there's like a pianist, they've got someone on drums, they've got a guitar, they've got bass, and they've usually got 3 or 4 singers. And you know what? They're really good. All of them can play instruments or sing really well. They obviously handpick the good ones, which I respect. You know, if you shit, they're not going to get you up.
Just when you said Valley Church, then did you throw up the
I threw up the gang sign. So I did that like because there's a coffee shop attached, and we all like sit and talk after service.
Yeah.
And it's really good to mingle and just like chat with people that probably wouldn't be like my caliber of people usually, but they're just so nice, like just such good, genuine people. They just want the best for you. Like, they really do. They'll do anything to try and help you. Like, they're interested in your life, and they actually give a shit about you. And it's just such a warming community. Like, and I think that's one thing that everyone's lacking these days, like a good, healthy community of people that care about each other.
Yeah,
like,
especially with like online and stuff, because everyone's like so like toxic and two-faced, and well, obviously you've deleted your social media. You found your group, man. That you've
But praise the Lord, hallelujah.
But yeah, so for everyone that wants to sign up to Valley Church, Sam's referral code will be in the description below. For every
just turn up. For
every
Sunday.
Referral, he gets £25 into his back pocket.
No, it's every Sunday service is at 10:30 in the morning, or I do the evening one at 6 p.m. Because I think it's great to wind down. Like, you get to just enjoy your Sunday. Like, for me, I do 6 days a week working, so like on Sunday I get to just wind down, like morning and afternoon, hit 6 p.m. get myself in church, just have a nice, good service, like sing a few songs, listen to...
Have you got a favourite rhythm?
So, well, it's interesting. The way that I like to describe it is, I guess it's a bit like a pop rock kind of vibe. Some of the songs fucking slap, you know, like they're sick. Like, they get you in the mood, like, and you just feel good. The lyrics are on the screen, so you can actually sing along. And Gabby Whittle, who's now Gabby Betts, Dan's wife, she made a fair point one time. She was like, I wish that every time at a gig that they just put the words on the screen, because sometimes I want to sing along and I've forgotten the words, or I don't know them.
You don't know one of the new songs.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be so much better when you like squinting, reading it, like bobbing along, trying to sing it, but doing it badly, you know. I'd do that anyway, even if I knew the lyrics, but yeah.
Well,
valid.
Anyway, I think we should wrap it up there. This is now officially the longest podcast I've ever done.
Yeah.
You don't need to look too down about that, because we've covered some great points.
Thank you.
Hopefully you'll get some new faces at what was it, Valley Church?
Yeah, no, I do the...
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you don't want to be sticking your fingers up, because that's a bit disrespectful.
Get that, sorry.
Like VC.
Yeah, VC, let's go.
Everyone loved it. They were like, oh my God.
Look at this new energy.
I mean, oh my Lord. Nah, it's lovely people, Jen.
But yeah, so... Obviously, hopefully, you've all learnt something today. If Sam's inspired you to stab yourself in the wrist,
or go sober,
sober, or take up combat sports, maybe
or butchering.
Or butchering. Do it all in that order, actually, because it works quite well.
Yeah, you've got to do it like years of everything, and it it's great for you. It's good for you. Puts hairs on your chest, like, believe me, like, I've got hairs on my chest.
Very hairy guy.
That's from everything that I've done. Yeah.
But yeah, so we have been We Don't Care. I'm Zach. This is Sam.
I'm Sam. This is Zach.
Yeah, I am Zach. Peace out.
Peace. Love.